Hey everybody. So I want to cover this because I was really just going back and forth with John Oakes on this, which is really interesting because I was really wanting I wrote about Maslow's ladder and self-actualization in my book, and I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to leave it in there because people have to see what that is in psychology. There is an implication that humans have a maximum potential, just like, maximum energy potential. It's the same thing as human innovation potential, whatever. And I'm going to say, I'm going to put this out there that those that are on the jelly juice, if you stay on it, you will have an infinite amount of potential. There won't be any maximum potential. Self actualization, when you think about it, 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 it will be something that a person could be born with if the mother is so aware of the jelly juice and she is pregnant and she does the jelly juice, reverses all her issues, and she makes sure that baby receives the same nutritional benefit and is so aware of how our society operates that she's able to raise that child very, very independent from most of the system and understand how to adapt to the changing system. And I don't know right now of any mothers that are doing that. So right now, that's probably not a reality at this point. Maybe it is, and I don't know about it. But I want to put it out there that Maslow, which I know people have, there are disputes with Maslow, like how can you be self-actualized? Because basically, self-actualization in our society is based upon predispositions and access to resources. So usually, it's more geared towards the affluent. So if you have the access to resources like college, college money, and you have, lesser predispositions than somebody else, then you will most likely be dubbed as a self-actualized person if you're able to meet all the different benchmarks and goals in our society. And you know what those are, like, oh yeah, get a degree and rise up in a company and be like an executive or be like a CEO of a company and have some kind of contribution to society that's going to, you know, look like that they are, taking society forward or something like that. I mean, you see all the different people in the media. You could say that some people say that Mahatma Gandhi was self-actualized. They say that Einstein was self-actualized. Okay, well, I mean, what I'm proposing is that if somebody is dying, well, yeah, if somebody is dead, then they've reached their maximum potential. And a person in our society, whoever it is, I mean, I think the characteristics of a self-actualized person is based upon those that are creating that paradigm to begin with. But if you actually take like a homeless person who's not really homeless, but in the eyes of somebody, like, okay, they don't have an actual fixed home, but they like living in their hut. They're happy, and you look at all the different rungs. They have safety. They've met their food, water, and shelter. I mean, they have a little hut, they're in Hawaii on the beach, right? So they don't need too much shelter, and they know how to build banana leaves to cover from the rain, and they're able to fish for their own food, and so they have their emotional needs are met, their belonging, the love and relationship, and then their fulfillment. A person that is homeless on the beach, a beach bum, could be self-actualized, just like, Bill Gates or Mahatma Gandhi or Tesla or Albert Einstein or whoever else they dub, those in the media dub people who are self-actualized. So self-actualization is almost like something where it purposely makes it to where you try to reach that, but your predispositions, your biological makeup, your access to resources, your socioeconomic status is going to prevent you from actually getting there. And so people who don't have those specific characteristics of access to resources, biological ability, will try to get there, but they will die trying to get there. And so what would happen on the Jilly Juice is that we actually have infinite. We don't have maximum potential, we have infinite potential. Because maximum potential implies limitations. Well, why is there an implied limitation? Because people are freaking dying. They have an expectation to die. They have predispositions they do not want to reverse because they don't want to feel pain. And so, yes, when a child is raised by two parents who only went this far in life, maybe the child will try to get out of that, maybe try to go further, but that doesn't always happen. But they're still going to have a certain ceiling, a certain limitation based upon their beliefs and the constructs of our society. And so, so a child in a society that's not doing J juice is going to have maximum potential, and that's based upon socioeconomic status and biological predispositions. And so it and so then it becomes it's a class thing, a caste system. So those are on the two coasts, right? The California and New York and all these highly degreed people who are like talking in such intellectual ways and they're hoity-toity. They probably deem themselves self-actualized, but their maximum potential is based upon when they're going to die. Oh yeah, they may have contributed a lot to the changes in our society. However, they've reached their maximum potential. Are they self-actualized? Oh, they might say they are. But is that really something we really want to covet? Do we really want to say, okay, um, create, like, what is it, setting somebody up to fail? Because there's people out there that don't have access to those type of resources, that will never really get there, whatever that there is, because of their predispositions. And so you're causing harm in other people when you don't give everybody the equal opportunity biologically. See, and that's the thing. It's not like you're giving away free, like free food or free education or free stuff. No, it's talking about you have now the capacity biologically to be able to compete on an equal level. That's where the Jilly Juice world comes in. And now that could be construed as communism. But it's not like someone's just giving you food for free. No, if you give a child the most excellent foundation at the biological level, they'll be able to produce on their own. They won't need to have a handout. They won't need to rely on a system or on some agency or really rely on certain things that are out there that people are being denigrated for. No, when you set up a child biologically to be able to compete on an equal playing field as of those that have access to resources. But then if someone that's rich that has access to resources may not fulfill their potential, because they have a lot of potential, right? Because they have predispositions, they have alcoholism, they have drug addicts in the family, they have all these different idiosyncrasies in their genome, and so they're not able to fulfill their potential, so they become a trust fund kid and they're just a playboy. So that happens even in the affluent world, where there's someone that just doesn't find their footing in the world, so they're just a consummate playboy or playgirl. And they, then they try to find different, jobs. And you've seen like, Paris Hilton, all this, she's doing better, but she had her period of where it was just all partying, and some people stay in that and they destroy themselves through it. And I'm sure you've seen those that happen too. So the Jilly Juice world is going to give everybody, if you stay on Jilly Juice, you will have infinite potential. I'm serious, you will, because if you can regenerate your body at the micro level, and then you have mental clarity, you've now merged the two hemispheres, your right brain and your left brain, and now you're able to pick up on new concepts, and you're able to then explain them without reaching so much. And I've gone through my my process of trying of going through my evolution. You've seen some of my transmissions where I'm like reaching for this, reaching for that, trying to figure out how to say the same thing in a different way. Okay, and it's not easy when you have a lot of cloud in your mind. Okay, when you have leaky gut, when you have cloudy mind and body, mind, and spirit, and you're full of fear, and you're full of cancer disease and chronic illness, and full of anomalies, there's no way you're going to be able to learn new concepts, because you don't have enough of the support system to be able to learn things through your five senses. Because maybe 90% of your senses are all clouded up with gunk, and the only thing is whatever you were taught, which is one little one-dimensional thought process, and so that's all you know. So anyone that says, okay, you can be five-dimensional, six-dimensional, and you're like, I can only deal with one-dimensional, anyone that's five-dimensional, you just like have a hard time with, and you think they're crazy. Okay, but I'm telling you, if you want to be a cut above, and this is where a competition comes from, because we still live in a competitive society. Yes, competition breeds predatory behaviors, but with the Jilly Juice, you'll not be predatory. You'll be able to compete on a level playing field at the biological level. And then when you are able to finally get your body, mind, and spirit so aligned, The strategy of you being able to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps will be that much easier over someone else who has stuff given to them all the time. And they're aging and degrading, so eventually they're not going to be able to compete. Because yes, we are in a competitive world. I don't love it. It's a very baser level instinct in our society, but that's our society. Okay, you don't have to love it, and but you have to understand it and know how to play the game, but not let the game like destroy you. And that's what some people do. They let the game destroy them. Competition, yes, does breed predator and prey situations. I wrote it on my Facebook. I have people who are on the right who took umbrance to that, who took issue with that, because yeah, they're like, well, we can't let Biden and the red people win, and da 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 da. Well, what are you gonna do? Expend more energy to fight something that you will not be able to win? And even if you do win, what's gonna happen? Then you have people on the other side that's gonna then be like, oh my god, and then you're gonna have a battle that do you really want to enter into? And it's just a battle of destruction of both sides. So I'm telling you, the infinite potential for those that stay on the J juice is exponential. Okay, is exponential. When you can regenerate, when you can self-replicate, asexually. Okay, and that's what mitosis is self-replication. It's asexual reproduction. That's what mitosis is. Meiosis is when you have to take somebody else and take their energy and create another baby and all that other stuff. But no, when you're able to actually self-replicate, asexual reproduction at the micro level within your body, mitosis on a continuous basis, lengthening your telomeres, your potential, your contributions and your potential will be infinite. Okay? There won't be any maximum energy, won't be any maximum potential. Maximum potential is based upon someone's predispositions. A baby who happens to die could be self-actualized. You know why? Because they have fulfilled their maximum potential, which is just to live for a few days. Well, not really. A baby really can't be self-actualized because they're not independent. But once you reach a level of independence, you could be like independent at like 15 years old and pass away at 16. And they would be called self-actualized. If they were, if they felt satisfied, they had food, shelter, water, belonging, needs met, whatever. Okay, so it's not hard in our society to be self-actualized, but the perception of what a self-actualized person in our society is based upon the affluent. It's based upon those that have access to resources, who also are a lot more healthier than others. So you're someone in Silicon Valley, California, who has access to all the great drugs and all the great chemistry and all the great, insurance and all the great food and all the great whatever therapies, would be more self-actualized, perceived self-actualized, than somebody that's like in some place like in rural Ohio that lives like in a farm in Appalachia. Okay? Because the fact that biologically they won't be able to meet certain conditions, certain criterions that would make somebody self-actualized. But that is a carrot stick mentality. That is a method used to control people. Oh yeah, for you to be successful in our society, you have to do this, this, and this. And I fought against that. But that was shoved down my throat every freaking day of my life. And if I don't go into college, then it's either food service, McDonald's, or, whatever. And that was the only choices, college and get a degree, or food service. Oh God! There's a whole world out there, but those were the only two choices that were given to me at the time, until I finally figured out what the world was made up of, and I just explored my world to find out what I wanted, because I wasn't given a lot of choices. And I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to study stuff that I had no reason to study, that didn't really, interest me. And so, you will have infinite potential if you're able to just finally merge your both your brains together. But I'm telling you, the kids right now that have predispositions, have parents that have predispositions, they will have a maximum potential. And if you want to give your kids a leg up in this world, in this competitive world, get them to where their left and their right brain can finally meet, where they can see the bigger picture and be able to also articulate the smaller picture. Because you got to be able to appeal to all different types of people and thought processes and industries, and be able to see the control mechanisms within the duality programming, how emotions really are a way to control people, and to where you can get your kid more logical than emotional. They'll be able to handle themselves when they're under pressure, when they're taking a test, when they're given a speech, when they're, when they're trying to create a thesis on something they want to invent, like a new application or a new device to help, third world countries. I'm telling you, the Jilly Juice will give people the access to infinite potential because it happens at the micro level. It's not somebody coming in and tweaking your genome and giving you more chemistry here so you can, like the movie Limitless where they give you a pill and it makes you all like, oh wow, and then it wears off. No, CRISPR kids and the drugs to make you feel smarter is temporary, and then there's side effects. It breaks down your body even more because you're not doing it in a process that is uh, life giving, that you're not taking into account all of your microbiome as well as the processes, the intelligent processes in your body. You're just tweaking, you're chemically tweaking yourself. And you see the people that get chemically tweaked. Look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Look at those that have access to the insurance industry, right? They're being patched together, implants in, and shots here and shots there, and I don't know, taking out organs and taking pills every single day. And yeah, it buys them a few years, maybe 10, 15, 20 years, if that, and then bam, their potential is gone. Okay? So I'm giving you guys access to free energy. This is free energy. And you're able to now compete without having to go and buy all the crap that some of those that are affluent, who are self-actualized, are able to go and afford. I didn't like the fact that, oh yeah, my mom, she had access to all these, to all the different chemistry, better life through chemistry. You're taking all your different prescription medications and all your little therapies and all this stuff. And yeah, you have a degree. Yeah, you're able to do this and this and that. And yeah, you had my dad help you and all that stuff. And oh no, I don't have a degree. Oh no, I'm not a successful person because I don't have a degree and I haven't gone to college or do this or do that. And I'm out there, trying to invent something without, some professor guiding my stuff. And so, I'm done with all of that hoity-toity crap. I'm done with that. How would I even say this? I don't know. There's a name for it. I'm just done with that. I want to give everybody access to a foundation that they can work from that will give them the ability to compete equally. Where you don't have to buy the ability to compete. You can do it on your own. Okay? And I haven't needed a professor to guide me through the Jilly Juice process. I have gone in and researched on my own. I'm not using textbooks to guide my thought process to regurgitate. And that's, I think, what pisses off those that are very highly educated, is that the fact they spend so much money and there's so much prestige in having a PhD or 3 letters in front of your name, but it's still regurgitation. That's why there's no evolution in modern medicine and in therapies and the holistic allopathic, because there's no evolution because they keep destroying themselves at the micro level. You can't possibly evolve if you're in the antibiotics industry, which is basically all therapies. There's no way Dr. Phil would ever even look at this information the way it's meant to, because he's in the de-evolutionary system. He's in the entropy. He is practicing the second law of thermodynamics. He is in infinite entropy. He will eventually pass away. Oh, but wait, he got a lot of people on the train of being fearful of salt and sugar, and then feeding off of the loosh, the negative energy. When you get away from doctors and nurses and the holistic allopathic, your potential could be infinite. But if you want to have maximum potential, then yeah, go see your doctor, go see your naturopathic, your homeopathic, who are feeding off of your negative energy, feeding off your suffering. Go see your little herbal MLMers who are all about, oh yeah, take this, take that, blah, blah, blah. Because they will make you realize your maximum potential. And it'll accelerate your maximum potential. Why not have infinite potential? That means that you actually can prolong your life. Your ability to contribute on an equal playing field will be that much more accessible. But no, hey, but oh, you don't want to feel pain. Well, then you will have maximum potential. You will stay at this one station in your life, and that'll be it. And then you will not feel satisfied because you don't feel like, oh, but then remember, they'll rationalize it. Oh yeah, those are all just the the yuppies over there. I don't want to be a yuppie. I'm a hillbilly. I'm a blue collar worker. Screw the white collar workers. That's all programming. That's all programming. You can be an infinite potential type of blue collar worker and a white collar worker. And then you can interchange between all of those and go into the art world if you wanted to. The ability to move around in different career fields and different interests is available through the Jilly Juice because you won't be afraid, you won't put limitations on yourself. Obviously, you can't fly unless you're in an airplane, but unless our atmosphere allows humans to evolve into like a bird type of thing, well, but I don't think our atmosphere at this point is going to allow that. And the evolution of a human does not really evolve right now into a bird. Okay? So your infinite potential is not like, okay, can I fly now? Can I walk on water? No, don't be stupid. I'm talking about infinite potential of everything that you have come to know and learned and understood through your whole world of experiences and your knowledge and what you see on the internet and what you see what people are doing. You have the infinite potential to be able to learn everything that you want to learn without limitations. But we have people in our society, like my mother, put limitations on me. Oh, you can't. Well, because she knew that I had predispositions, but there was no way I was going to get out of those predispositions because she dealt with antibiotics. She does with chemistry that basically is antibiotic. Therapy is antibiotic. Medical holistic antibiotic. So there's no way that she could say, oh yeah, you have infinite potential. But maybe if you tell somebody they had infinite potential, even if they really don't, they could, like the placebo effect, they could actually do it if they had the right support system. Yeah, it would be harder. People do it. But if that's not your purview as a mother or as a father to help your kid as much as you can to reach whatever, maximum level of potential, then you're just watching them drown and you're enjoying it. And that's what I've experienced is the fact that I was this sink or swim and I was drowning for a bit. But I was strategic and I found a husband and I found a way to make his world better and he found a way to make my world better and here we are. And here's the Jilly Juice. But when you throw people out there in the ocean and you watch them drown, you do really nothing to really, I don't know. I don't know. I have my own things about that, but whatever. That's all I got to say. You guys have a good day. Bye.